Okay, give me something good.
We found the Stanley Cup in a gutter in West L.A.
We figure he's been there since last night.
Oh, where am I? Oh, I knew I should have drank from a cup given to me by Matt Green. Where's my keeper? Did he even make it? Oh, look at Mr. White Gloves over there. A little bit too much partying for you?
If I had $1 for every time I blacked out, oh.
What have the Kings been doing to celebrate this week?
What haven't they done? I feel like I've been an accomplice to a number of crimes.
Crimes? What kind of crimes?
Hey, I ain't no snitch.
I wouldn't count on Gary Bettman to bail him out.
Damn, sounds like you've had a hell of a week.
Yeah, no shit. Now Slava Voinov wants to take me back to Russia, and I'm a 16th Ukrainian. The box score starts now.
I don't know a lot about sports, but I can drink a lot of beer. My motto is simple: C's get degrees.
Need a long, inappropriate hug? I'm your man.
I think I'm smarter than you, because I probably am.
Howard Coward for box score. Hello and welcome to the box score. I'm Brock in Los Angeles. They are the Danettes out in Milford, Connecticut. It's Friday, guys. Let's get things rolling so you can get home and pretend to be interested in your families, and I can get right to the bar. Fritzy, you were the topic of conversation again today, but not because of your crappy mock headlines. It was because of your health. Dan seemed interested in your health. Will you take that advice into your enlarged heart?
I will. I know the guys care about me a lot, as does Dan, and I need to. I know it's a broken record, and it's been far too long. But I got to get stricter with getting in shape, dropping some lbs, and it means a lot to have a supporting cast of friends here that want to see me, fit and as healthy as I can be.
Brock, that's a flawed question you asked him. Will he take it to heart and will he act upon it? Are two different questions.
That's true too.
Yeah, he definitely takes it to heart. There's like not really any action.
Paulie, how often do you work out, and would you actually help him?
I'm kind of sporadic. I go on runs and workouts, but believe me, I'm no workout guru or anything like that. But I think Fritzy has a couple flaws in his eating habits and a couple flaws in his workout habits that if you changed just a couple things, he would drop 20 pounds by September 1st, I guarantee it.
Fritzy, would you actually commit to this if he offered his help?
Absolutely. No, I want to. I've been wanting to, but I haven't done a great job because sometimes you have the late night snacks, and you go through a portion of the day without eating. So things like that are some bad habits where you skip breakfast and lunch and then have one or two big meals later on, or snack late at night, and that sits on you, and that's not the way to go. So I need to kind of space things out a little bit, spend more time on the treadmill, less time doing bicep curls, and try to get that more in order.
Now, Brock, if you permit me, Seton and I, and more me, and I have a theory over the years. Fritzy does not eat breakfast before he comes here. He does not eat breakfast here with us. He does not eat lunch here with us, and he leaves about 3 p.m. and he has an hour drive ahead of him. That means from the time he goes to bed, let's say that's midnight, till 4 p.m. the next day, he's ingested no food, which it's impossible to do that and keep your weight up. So I asked Fritzy, and I've always had the theory that he has a meal and then he has dinner, like a 4 o'clock meal and then like a 6:30 family meal. And he finally kind of admitted that to me when we were off camera. I go, do you eat when you get home or on the way home? He goes, yeah, I do. And he kind of took me like 3 or 4 times to ask him. He said he did.
Fritzy, how much weight did you lose just by shaving all that hair off?
You know what? There's a couple ounces here and there. If I get rid of the little bit of sides that I got left, I don't know if I can get a pound out of it, but every bit counts. But Paulie's right. The eating habits are suspect at best, and I've got to scatter it out to keep the metabolism up. They were explaining to me how 4, 5, 6 small meals throughout the course of the day instead of
not six.
Not 6, 7, 8. Can't have that many. So scattering the food intake, in smaller portions. It's a portion control thing also that has to be addressed quickly.
Well, the poll question revolved around hair plugs. Seton, you said you'd get them if you needed them, but you have nothing to worry about because you have the best hair of all the Danettes. Isn't that right?
Yeah, I would agree with that. I think I have great hair, and it's probably my best feature outside of my ability to fake laugh. So yeah, I would definitely be all about hair plugs. I've got zero interest in being bald. I've shaved my head a few times, and it's horrendous. It's absolutely terrible. And I would not hesitate. The minute I see it really starting to fade, I'm doing everything I can to try and keep it or replace it.
I'd like to take you on the hair department, but I can't see. And your hair is by far the best in the room. Not that that's saying a ton. I actually would like to do more with my hair, but If I cut it short, then all the hair dye comes out, so I can't really I can't experiment as much.
Fritzy tried to experiment once, and he took a stab at a hair remedy, the good old powdered hair look. Paulie, is there just too much surface area there to make a difference?
No, not at all, Brock. Actually, this some major sportscasters use the same thing. And look at Fritzy.
Did you see
that? Made him look 10 years younger. That looked like
unbelievable.
That looked like early '90s Talk 2 Fritzy.
I enjoyed the girls sprinkling it on me, but it seemed like that's something you kind of do when the pizza comes out of the oven and you're putting the pepper on it and the garlic powder.
What do you care if it works?
It's just, I don't know, it's just bizarre to me. Just
oh man, you know what? In real life, it doesn't
specs.
actually add a ton of hair, but on camera, it was like, whoa, this dude's got a full head of hair. It's unbelievable.
Look like a young Burt Young.
Great.
It's kind of the same reason actually that I keep this really crappy beard. In person, it really looks terrible, but on TV, when it gets long enough, it's like sort of frames the face a little bit, and it's not quite as chubby cheeked. I'm like, heck yeah, I'll keep it.
See, would you put Fritzy's hair as a wheel of punishment for you?
Oh man, I would be. Wow, no offense. I would be willing to
when
do
you hear
that.
Something bad's coming.
I would be willing to go along with that and put it on there, but that would really be a very difficult punishment for me. I've already gone down and shaved my head for that, and that's a little different. Like if I don't have to keep the sides and back, and then man, that would be a tough one. I'd go along with it, but I'm not.
You went the
into
Whitey
that at all.
Herzog. That wasn't that bad though.
That was horrible.
It wasn't that bad.
Fritzy, you also have another problem that you can't seem to get a handle on, a little thing called TMI.
Yeah, I've let her know that, last week was a little better than this time around. Hopefully next month, now that I've said that, I know I'm going to be waiting at least a month for the criticism.
Hey, how are you?
It'll be better. But maybe we could role play, dress up a little bit. I offer suggestions. Next time you could have made that sound instead of that sound. I'll just throw it out there. I'm just saying. Am I taking it too far? You asked me a question. I give you an answer. Yeah, I got a little carried away there talking about sound effects in the bedroom, and I guess I was kind of inferring or referring to who's on top, who's on bottom, and who would be more comfortable in different positions.
Now you're not inferring it, you're actually saying
I'm making it work. I can, I don't know. I feel comfortable with the guys, and, sometimes you forget.
The guys and America.
You forget who may be listening or watching, and, you forget.
Was that?
You think you're just talking to Dan and
Was that
the
graphic
guys.
correct? Technical difficulty? See, I was trying not to listen too closely, but you're saying that things didn't go as planned? Like it didn't work?
Yeah, it's just until I dropped some LBs, it just didn't. You got to minimize the number of different poses and positions you can get into.
Right here, I'm gonna throw this out here, Fritzy. I rarely do this. If your wife said, "I'm gonna double the access," you know what I mean? I'm gonna give you more times per week, per month, if you drop below this weight, your answer would be?
I would do that. Yes.
There you go.
That's that deal. We have to. I would like to look forward to consummating that deal.
I don't know. Chicken parm is pretty good though.
That is.
Yeah. How long have you been married? I guess that's part of the question.
Low main or 3-day weekend? What do you want?
If you throw in the cute neighbor across the way, then the pounds will roll off.
Well, your wife did text you during the show, and she suggested that you lose some weight through Nutrisystem and some other ways. Seton, if she asked you to remove all the snacks and junk food from the man cave, would that just be too tall of an order?
Well, I don't know why the rest of us would have to be punished for that. And Fritzy doesn't partake in any of the junk food around here. That's actually not his issue. That would actually really help me because that's one of my biggest problems that I eat 15 Snicker bars a day. So, but yeah, Fritzy doesn't eat any food while he's here. Not when he gets here, not after, lunch, whatever. There's really no food unless it's like, hey, we're all going out together, like Dan's coming, then he goes.
Let's take a break, gentlemen. Coming up, Alexi Lawless channels his inner Fritzy in his hotel room. We'll explain this.
I don't think Josie Altidore is, the impactful player that anywhere near what Ronaldo is. I think losing Dempsey would be bigger than Josie Altidore.
For sure.
Well, I'm not worried about what Portugal thinks on sports radio in Portugal, that we're going to get a hollow victory. This is all Portugal has in their sports life.
Welcome back to the Box Score. Paulie, check out the boss and you just talking soccer like a couple of pros. Is that one of the reasons you love World Cup time?
I do. Now, to be fair, he was talking soccer. I was listening soccer. But you know what? No complaints here. I love that he's all in. I like that he gives hard takes on, the striker position for the U.S. team out of nowhere. So no complaints here.
Very nice. You had ESPN soccer analyst Alexi Lawless on today, and before he came on, he tweeted this out. Jumping on the DP show in 20 minutes, I will only be wearing a towel. Oh my goodness, Fritzy. Well, Dan wanted to make sure Alexi wasn't kidding, so he got to the bottom of things.
By the way, are you only wearing a towel right now?
Yeah, that's it.
Why?
Can't you tell? I mean, can't you feel it?
Well, no, you
because
tweeted. You tweeted that you're jumping on the DP show. I will only be wearing a towel.
Right. Well, I mean, it's radio, so what the hell does it matter what I'm wearing?
But you're sharing a room with Bob Lee. That's not fair to Bob.
Oh, he doesn't care. Okay, Bob. Don't worry. He says hello. He's wearing a towel too.
Oh, he is good. I like that.
I thought it was very refreshing to hear Alexi Lawless tweet and mention on the show and reiterate that he was just wearing I believe he referred to it as a small towel when Dan asked him a little further, and then he was looking out the window and waving and yelling at
Wait, was that Bob Lee? Was that Bob Lee? Does anyone...
I didn't know if he was joking. I'm assuming he was joking that they were sharing a room and they were both hanging out.
His boy was quick enough to do a quick Bob Lee impersonation. I was shocked by that.
It's good producing down there. Alexi's the fun guy. I wish we'd have had Skype set up. But what can you do?
Very awesome that he's just walking around in a towel in the hotel room.
Yeah, I'm sorry they only had a king bed in that room. McLovin, Alexi also pointed out that there were lots of people prancing around in Speedos down in Rio. Have you ever hit the beach or pool in a Speedo?
Yeah, I used to do it all the time when I was 5 or 6 years old. But the law that should be enacted in Brazil and America after 10, no, Speedo's a no-go.
I was in Italy a bunch of years ago, and we're talking to a few different dudes. They're all college age. We're all college age. And we're standing there by like this little bar right on a beach. And 3 of us had like board shorts on, like Michael Jordan that went to our knees. And the other 3 dudes were from Europe, and they had little Speedos. And you know, you can ignore Speedos, but not when it's right next to you like this, and the guys they're talking
Bob.
like this.
Yeah,
and he's like, ha.
So, let's go over to the Coliseum, huh?
Yeah. Why is it that having a Speedo is worse than being naked? Like, I can handle a naked man.
Right.
I've seen that in the locker room. But a guy in a Speedo, for some reason, bugs me a lot more than a naked dude. Like, a naked dude, I was like, oh, there's a naked guy. It's kind of funny. A Speedo guy, ugh.
Well, McLovin, you're all about modesty. May we suggest you cover up in a bathing suit such as this, the Borat Special. The hell with the beach. Would you wear this out just for fun?
Yeah. I can't believe someone actually took the time to Photoshop my head onto that.
Someone gets paid to do that for a living.
Statement of
I've seen
society.
that other bathing suit now, like it's like a pinkini or something that's like making the rounds, that it just wraps around one leg.
Yeah.
And that's sort of all over the internet. I'm doing this a lot. Man, is that like super awkward. I don't know how you can possibly fit that thing on.
You need the goods to do it, apparently. Fritzy, your newest ESPN anchor impression didn't go over well. Even Rich Eisen was dumbfounded. Are you trying out new material just since your current stuff is getting stale, according to Seton?
No, I was driving in this morning and I listened to one of the things I listened to was the audio portion of SportsCenter from the night before, and I was listening to Steve Levy, and I started kind of imitating or mimicking, or thought I was doing a decent job of mimicking what he was saying during the course of SportsCenter, and that he decided to share it with the guys, and immediately realized from their reactions and their comments that stick to Stan Verrett, that didn't sound anything like Steve Levy, and really don't even bother doing that on the actual show, because we're telling you it doesn't sound anything at all like him.
Fritzy sort of caught lightning in a bottle there with Stan Verrett, because it's something that it's turned into one of those impressions from the day he did it that now all of us probably say, he 30 times a day. So to keep going back to the SportsCenter, especially a Steve Levy that's pretty generic, is tough to do.
Now, when Fritzy did it in the morning, before the morning meeting, I jotted down in my notes, make sure Dan has Fritzy do the Steve Levy imitation. That was like on my checklist of things to make sure to get done today. That was the one and only thing I had on my list.
Well, for the box score fans that may have missed the DP show, can you please give us Steve Levy one more time?
Let's go to the top of the 7th inning, the Indians and Royals. Now, the Royals coming into this game had a 10-game winning streak, but not so fast.
That's not even nice.
It kind of just sounds like you.
Paulie and McLovin's Against the Grain segment wasn't sponsored. Would it be on thin ice like mock headlines?
No, it would not be on thin ice. It would be completely gone. No, actually, I really like today's. Working in soccer with a bunch of fun stuff. It was nice. I think it's gonna play bigger in Asia in Europe than it did here, but it's going to be great.
Central America, South America,
Sure.
for sure. Yeah, it's all about globalization, Brock. Against the Grain as a brand has maxed out in America, like it's a Super Bowl. Everybody loves it. So now we're talking about emerging markets.
Well, the Steve Levy impression would be big in Germany. Coming up, it's Roe versus Roe in the battle to see who paid attention to the job this week. Welcome back to the Box Score, guys. We got another work week in the rearview mirror. What do you say we look back and see if anyone was paying attention while doing their job? Time for another edition of...
No! Your
Show? What?
I'll ask you about something that happened on the show. You just need to give me the correct answer. Remember, Row Buddies can share, but there are no steals. Let's begin. Our first question goes to the back row. Earlier this week, Paulie searched the web to look for a sports radio show in Ghana. What was the name of the station he found?
Got it.
Well, we were joking about the sports elephant. Seton made a funny joke about that.
I think it was something elephant. It was sports elephant you want to go with?
Yeah, but I don't think I think that was the joke. Ghana, let's go with the sports.
Joe and the lemur? No.
Sports elephant.
Yeah, we're going to go sports elephant.
Was it the sports elephant?
I-Team update, Dan. There is a sports radio station in Ghana.
Yeah.
Happy 98.9 FM. They're live on air right now.
Sorry, guys. We're looking for Happy 98.9.
Happy 98.9.
Okay, let's go to the front row. Dan told David Robinson that he felt sorry for this former NBA player because he was always getting posterized. Who was it?
That's what they get?
Sean Bradley.
We got
Was it the Storm and Mormon? Sean Bradley.
98.9.
But you did block one of his dunks.
People don't care about that stuff. They only care when you get posterized.
Oh, and that's why I always felt bad for Sean Bradley. You can't get
Oh,
posterized unless you challenge a dunk, and Sean would always challenge a dunk.
Good job, front row up 1-0. Back row, you're up. After our poll question asked whether you'd like to be overpaid or underpaid, Seton said he'd rather be overpaid so he could buy a boat and call it what?
Does this sound familiar?
Yeah. I just can't remember what he called this boat.
It's like gone or something, or out of here.
Fritzy's streak is intact.
I can't remember.
I remember when Seton said that. It was like...
Man, we don't get any clue for it. They got Sean Bradley, and we got Happy 98.9 in this one. Say...
Any words?
See ya. It was like something like he wants to leave.
Yeah,
You know, not for nothing, the Happy 98.9 thing,
We need an
not only
answer.
did we do the bit on the show, it was also in the open for 3 straight hours.
We're going to go with the Gone Fishing.
Was it Scone Fishing?
It's definitely not that.
Flacco got killed in the press for struggling last year after he got the contract, so he did get a lot of criticism.
Yeah, see.
I'll take that criticism while I'm sitting on my boat. I don't really care.
On your yacht.
Yeah. I'll be sailing the Caribbean on the overpaid.
Is that what your boat's going to be called?
Yeah.
I'm sorry, well, you can't complain about it. I gave you the answer twice when I asked the question. The overpaid. Front row. Reggie Miller joined the show Monday and said he once met these 2 members of the Jackson 5.
Well, I'm going to just say it's like Tito and Jermaine.
Yes.
We got much harder questions.
Was it Tito and Jermaine?
Did you ever meet the Jacksons?
I know Jermaine and I met Tito. They live out here in Calabasas, and I ran into
Can they
them.
play? Do they play hoops?
No.
Oh, okay.
Good job, guys. Front row, it's 2-0. Back row, on which holiday did Paulie get punched in the face by a fireman? Certainly you remember this.
St. Patrick's.
Yeah.
St. Patrick's Day? Does that sound right?
Sure.
We're thinking St. Patrick's Day.
Was it St. Patrick's Day?
Paulie got beat up one time, though, playing pool, didn't you?
Yeah. I was playing Upper East Side of New York City. It was on St. Patrick's Day. And I took the rack, and I put it around the guy's head and his neck.
Oh,
I go, you can rack. And as I walked away, he punched me square in the mouth.
Good job, guys, in the back row's
Sean
new
Bradley,
favorite
Tito
holiday.
Jermaine.
And finally, the front row, Len Bias died 28 years ago yesterday. Dan said he was where in Brooklyn when he heard the news?
At a hardware store.
Was it a hardware store?
Remember where I was? I was in Brooklyn at a hardware store. The guy had the radio on. all of a sudden heard the news because I'd been at that draft in 1986. I'd covered it.
Good job, guys. Front row wins 3-1. Take a bow, gentlemen. Coming up, why did Seton have such an itchy trigger finger today? Welcome back to the box score. Paulie, why was Dan so giddy about the Pat Riley soundbite at the beginning of the show?
Because it's a hysterical piece of audio. I heard it live yesterday. I couldn't believe it. When Seton heard it this morning, he laughed hard. And one thing we did was we didn't let Dan hear it before we played it on air for the first time, which I really like to do. If you can, not all the time, but play something you want the boss to react to and let him react the first time in real time on air.
He reacted a number of times. He seemed to be really happy about this. Let's see how many times he asked for it in just the first segment alone.
Here's Pat Riley.
You want to trend something? I'm pissed.
You want to trend something?
You want to trend something?
Yeah.
I'm pissed.
What is this Vine stuff?
You want to trend something? I'm pissed.
Play Rawls again.
You want to trend something? I'm pissed.
Got any more sound of Rawls there, Seton?
You want to trend something? I'm pissed.
And then he starts his press conference with?
You want to trend something? I'm pissed.
Yeah, we definitely hit it a lot there, and that was actually less than I think we were supposed to, because I had Paulie in my ear saying, hit it again, hit it. I can't possibly hit the, it's been like on the air 6 minutes, and we've hit it 6 times already.
Yeah. Fritzy, Seton and Dan have been ripping your mock headlines lately. Was the Pat Riley soundbite really worth that many laughs?
I personally didn't think it was that fun. I thought it was amusing the first couple of times, but Dan seemed to be enjoying it. Seton was cracking up, and just his laugh alone, makes it even more funny because it's just a contagious laugh. But I was surprised we played it as much as we did. The first few times, just hearing an older guy trying to be hip and making references to social media when he doesn't really know how to use it. It's totally out of context was just a little ridiculous. But I turned to McLevin while Seton and Paulie were laughing, especially Seton the way he was cracking up. And Andrew's face was just kind of stone-faced. He wasn't, we weren't sharing as much as maybe we would have liked in the hysterics of the moment there.
No, blew me into this.
Yeah, no, well, first of all, Andrew was ripping your mock headlines, too, so it's not just me and Dan. And well, actually, Paulie, too. But anyway, I digress. That soundbite is hysterical because it reminds us of our boy saying, the Motley Crue.
Yeah, Larry King.
Larry King, the Motley Crue. And hey, you guys want to trend something? It's just such a funny little way to misspeak that I love.
And I know it sounds weird, but sometimes when you play something 6 times, you'll notice a little variance, like the table being hit, but not hit that hard, kind of like this, like I'm mad. And so, believe it or not, sometimes, I think I take this from Howard Stern's show. Sometimes beating something to death for a short period of time, not for hours and hours on end, can be funny. Instead, if you play it once and everybody misses it because they're driving 70 in their car, then if you play it 3 or 4 times, you may hear some stuff you didn't hear the first time. It doesn't happen very often.
Well, if it's laughs you want, check out what we caught on tape before the show. Paulie, this is you putting hot sauce on your eggs, I believe, maybe injecting them. Interesting method you have here. Actually sticking the top of the bottle into your eggs as you go.
I have a strict rule, which I do not like.
Oh,
Todd knows this. If you're eating at your desk, that's a private space. That should not be invaded by cameras or anybody else. Paulie can stick the hot sauce right in there as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, you can't.
I don't care if Paulie sticks the hot sauce in his mouth and guzzles it. But I think eating should be private.
That's actually Paul's own private hot sauce.
That's
so, he's free to do that. I first noticed it, though, down at the 7 Cs, where he used sort of like the general everybody gets to use Tabasco sauce that probably 300 people use every day, and does the same stick it right onto your fish and chips. That kind of grosses me out.
Yeah, boy, I didn't think I made contact with the fish and chips down there. If you say I did, I think then I must have. I apologize for that and to the people who ate afterwards. But since that is my own hot sauce, I feel free to do that. Now, I'm a big fan of when you're at home, you could double dip, but I would never double dip like chips in front of other people. So I apologize to the 7 Cs for the doing that with the Tabasco.
Well, how hot is that stuff you're using, Paulie?
Not really hot. It's more of a smoky flavor, a little briny.
Ton of flavor.
Really good. Adds to an omelet.
Well, let's check out the B-roll here real quick before we go. McLovin, what were you doing about 2 minutes ago here?
Oh, boy.
God, that's good producing.
Yeah,
Someone take the weekend off.
that's mature.
Fritzy, who's on tomorrow? Fritzy, who's on next week? Fritzy, who's on next week?
We're next week. Dennis Miller will join us next week.
Who cares? Hey, tell the tape ops guy to take the week off.
Maybe Vince Scully.
Vince Scully. Thank you. Relax this weekend, guys. Thank you for watching the box score. Set your DVR. You got to set your DVR. Or tune in weekdays at 3 p.m. Eastern. Only on Orange Channel 239 on DirecTV.
I don't know a lot about sports, but I can drink a lot of beer. My motto is simple. C's get degrees.
Need a long, inappropriate hug? I'm your man.
I think I'm smarter than you, because I probably am.
Hey, thanks for watching the box score. Holy cow!